Sadie Crawford. A square and a duck. It looks like this thing opens up, but how? This door goes outside. Opening it now would not be a good idea. Looks like some sort of steam valve. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good.
Engineer, what do you want?
Hello, I'm one of the passengers, and I just thought you should know that Lori Gerard has disappeared.
So?
I just thought you might want to call the police or something.
Hey, all I know is I take orders from Miss Gerard, okay? Right now my orders are to get this train to Copper Gorge non-stop. And until Miss Gerard tells me otherwise, that's what I'm gonna do.
But Lori may not even be on the train anymore.
Look, Miss Gerard may not be a rocket scientist or anything, but even she knows better than to jump off a moving train.
But...
Now, if you'll excuse me, I got me a train to run. Engineer.
Hi.
Is this Miss Gerard?
Yeah, this is Lori.
Nice try.
Hey, Nance.
Where have you two been?
I followed Tino Balducci.
And I went after John Gray. He went straight to the room in the car that used to be Camille's and didn't come out again. I could hear all these weird noises coming from inside.
Any idea what he was doing?
I was just about to go in, but the next thing I know, Joe's got my arm in a vice grip and is dragging me back here, babbling about how Balducci's our guy.
He found something on the floor right where Lori was standing when the train went dark. I saw him pick it up and put it in his pocket. Then he left.
Did you see what it was?
When I tried to talk to him, he just kind of brushed me aside and said something snotty like, "I'm on the job here, Junior, so just go back to the playground and stay out of the way." In case you two hadn't noticed, we're not getting a lot of respect around here. Can't we at least tell Balducci that we do stuff for ATAC?
You know the rules.
ATAC?
American Teens Against Crime. We do a lot of undercover work for them.
Wonder Cop's probably never even been undercover.
Joe, let it go. What'd Charlena have to say?
She thinks Lori is faking this whole disappearance thing.
She's not the only one.
How can you say that? You heard Lori scream.
Anybody can scream, Joe. Especially girls whose fathers have given them acting lessons along with everything else they've ever wanted.
What about you, Nancy? What do you think?
I kind of agree with Frank.
You've got to be kidding.
Do you think maybe one of Lori's other guests is in on her disappearance?
It's certainly possible.
From the way she talked, it didn't sound like she knew any of them.
Maybe that's what she wanted us to think.
Or maybe that's what one of them wanted her to think.
Well, whether Lori disappeared by force or by choice, what we've got to do now is find her.
Absolutely.
See you in a bit.
You better.
I'm done with that. Check.
Yes?
What are you working on?
I'm writing my next book. I'm on a deadline, so until I write those two most wonderful of all three-letter words, the end, everywhere I go, my laptop goes, and every chance I get, I write.
Why do you think Lori invited you on this trip?
No doubt because I'm such an authority on life in the Old West, and because I'm so good at using old information to unearth new information. My knack for research is, well, it's a gift.
What else do you know about Jake Hurley? You know, the man who originally owned this train?
Wealthy, imaginative, adventurous, stubborn, egocentric, and most importantly, he was smitten at the age of 35 by a young French woman named Camille Voulet, who died about a year after they were married.
Where was he from?
East Coast, Philadelphia, I think. His parents were British aristocrats. Sometime in the 1870s, he decided to seek his fortune out west, so he had this train custom built so that he and some years later his wife, could traverse the mountains and plains in relative comfort.
So he went west and became a miner?
All anyone knows for sure is that years after Camille's death, he showed up in Denver with a pouch full of gold nuggets and semi-precious stones, which he used to purchase mining supplies. He refused to say how he'd come by them, which of course led to speculation that he had found a fantastically rich vein somewhere. Although to this day, its existence remains unsubstantiated and its location quite unknown.
I'll let you get back to your writing.
My publisher thanks you.
Another gemstone. Left pickaxe and lamp with buhl for safekeeping. To open what's closed, lead is the key. Or is it lead is the key? This must have been the sleeping car.
Hey, come on over here. Hi, you're that Nancy person. How you doing? John Gray.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I've seen your TV show.
Then I don't have to explain what I'm doing.
Yeah, you do.
Right now I'm taking time-lapse electromagnetic readings and recording background noise. This was Camille's private car. If she had something to do with Laurie's disappearance, analyzing these readings may give me a clue as to Laurie's whereabouts.
Are you saying that Camille's ghost kidnapped Laurie?
What to most people are ghosts are actually temporary distortions in local electromagnetic fields caused by the presence of residual psychic energy generated by the person or persons who frequented that particular locale. That's my working theory, at least.
That's very interesting.
It's all very scientific. But the fact is, Laurie's missing, and I for one am doing everything in my power to find her. The vibes I'm getting make me think she could be in serious trouble.
Charlene Purcell thinks Laurie is just playing some kind of joke on us.
Charlene Purcell writes romance novels. End of comment.
What do you think of Tino Balducci?
I kind of feel sorry for the guy. After catching those bank robbers, he can't just be a good cop anymore. He's got to be a great cop. Tough to perform under that kind of pressure.
Is Laurie a friend of yours?
First time I met her was when I boarded this train with all the rest of you. I knew her by reputation, of course, like everyone else who reads the tabloids. It doesn't appear that anyone aboard this train is her friend.
Maybe she planned it that way.
You mean so we'd concentrate all our efforts on finding Jake Hurley? Possible, although she really doesn't strike me as being the planning type.
I won't keep you any longer.
Pleasure talking to you.
The Little Book of Samplers. Sickly Sarah caught a germ so new, it made one of her pretty green eyes turn blue. Teddy Eberhardt. This looks like some sort of game. Wipe out. Oops. I did it! Wonder what's in here. If I had some music, I could play a tune.
Don't do that, please! Those microphones I set up over there are very sensitive. Just about took out my eardrums. You can play that thing when I'm done. I'll let you know when that is, all right?
Okay. It's locked. Thomasina O'Neill. Looks like Camille was teaching herself how to play the piano. Looks like some kind of sewing sampler. I wonder if there's a relationship between those symbols and those numbers. I wonder what's under here, and what the deal is with those weird-looking bolts. I need something that will turn the bolts. Hello?
Nancy, hi, it's me.
Hi, Bess.
And me.
Hey, George, what's up?
What's up? You're the one who's on the train with a bunch of famous people. You tell us. This is torture, Nancy. I'm dying of curiosity here. Bess, just calm down. Oh, like you're not just as curious as I am. She's the one who insisted we call you Nancy. Only because you're driving me crazy. I'm supposed to be helping her paint her room, but every other brushstroke she's like, where do you think she is now? How do you think the Hardy Boys are doing? Why do you think she hasn't called? What do you think Laurie Gerard is wearing? Oh, George, that is so not true. I couldn't care less what Laurie Gerard is wearing. So come on, Nancy. You're on a train full of famous people bound for who knows where. So dish already, would ya? Bess, calm down. Look what you did. You got paint in my hair. I'm sorry. You know, actually, that looks kind of cool. Nice try, Beth. No, really. You're just saying that because you're afraid I'll bail and you'll wind up having to paint this dump all by yourself. George, I kid you not. You should seriously think about doing some major highlights in that color.
What color is it?
Adobe beige.
Nice try, Bess.
What's going on, Nan?
Our hostess has disappeared.
What do you mean, disappeared?
I mean, the train went into a tunnel, everything went dark, and when the train came out of the tunnel, no Lori. She just disappeared.
Publicity stunt.
My thoughts exactly.
Remember the time she was allegedly kidnapped from her Vegas hotel room? Yeah, the guy across the hall just happened to have a camera and got it all on tape. It made the evening news in practically every city in the country. And then there was her daring escape the next morning. Only it turns out she faked the whole thing. Of course, she claims her ex-boyfriend faked it to get back at her. She thought she was really being kidnapped. Like anybody believes that.
Sounds to me like somebody has been spending a lot of time reading the tabloids.
George has. Very funny. So what else is going on?
Before she disappeared, Lori told us that the purpose of this train trip is to find out what happened to Jake Hurley, the train's original owner.
Was he murdered or something?
No one knows. He was married to a woman named Camille, but she died, and he eventually vanished while mining for gold. His train was found abandoned in Blue Moon Canyon, Nevada, with no one on board but his dead engineer.
Whoa, spooky. Have any theories?
Not yet, but the train is also rumored to be haunted by his dead wife.
So first Hurley's wife dies, then Hurley vanishes, then the engineer dies, then Lori vanishes. A pattern, maybe? Bess, do us all a favor and leave the detective work to Nancy, okay?
Has either of you been to Copper Gorge, Colorado?
Never heard of the place. Why?
That's where the train I'm on is headed. Apparently Jake Hurley buried his wife Camille there after she died on the train.
She died on the train? Ew, creepy.
John Gray has set up a bunch of equipment in Camille's train car in hopes of documenting distortions in the electromagnetic field caused by her residual energy.
Say what? He's looking for Camille's ghost. Don't you ever watch him on TV? Just because I watch him doesn't mean I understand him.
Catch you later.
Okay. Well, George, back to work.
Finish that.
Hey, Nancy, right?
That's right, Nancy Drew.
Amateur detective, huh? Ever thought about becoming a real detective? You know, like me?
You mean become a police detective? No, I never have.
It's a great job, you know. I love it. You, heard about those bank robberies I solved, right?
Yes, I sure did.
Baffling case. Two-man team at 17 banks in 3 states in 5 days. FBI had no idea who the perps were. But after forcing their vehicle to a stop, confronting them, despite the fact that they were armed and giving chase, I single-handedly made the collar.
I heard they stopped because you accidentally rear-ended them.
You heard wrong. You see, Nancy, when somebody does something really remarkable in this country, the first thing everybody else does is try to tear them down. Reporters, late-night comedians, even some of my fellow officers. All have been spreading vicious lies about me. Why? Because they've never done anything remarkable in their sorry little lives, and they're jealous. Anyway, you should look around in here. Lots of interesting stuff. This was Jake's private car, you know.
Have you had a chance to talk to Charlena Purcell?
Now, why would I want to do a thing like that?
You don't like her?
I can't stand those sappy books she writes. And seeing as I said as much during an interview on national TV once, it's a pretty safe bet she doesn't like me.
Have you talked to John Gray?
The ghost guy? Total quack. Only reason I'd talk to him would be to arrest him for fraud.
So, what do you think happened to Lori?
She could have been kidnapped. She could have been tossed off the train. She could be hiding from us. But I obviously won't know which until I've gathered all the facts.
When do you think that will be?
I'll know the facts when I know the facts. The truth can't be rushed, you know.
I understand that you found something on the floor in the dining car.
Yeah, at first I thought it was an old coin, but it turned out to be some kind of slug.
Where do you think it came from?
Probably been lying there for 100 years. May have served a purpose back then, but now, worthless.
May I see it?
Sure. In fact, here, keep it. Wear it around your neck or something. That way, when people ask you where you got it, you can tell them Tino Balducci gave it to you. The Tino Balducci.
Oh, thank you.
What else can I do for you?
It's been great talking to you.
Don't mention it.